I'm all set up. I think. Can you hear me all good? Can you hear me all good? All good? Can you hear me all good? I'm just watching myself. Watching myself on here. Wait a second. Wait a second. Is it doing that echoing thing again? Is it doing that echoing thing again? I think it's alright now. Oh no, it's doubling up my voices. How's that? Is that better? Oh, in the background. Can you go in that room? Oh. So it's all good now? Okay. I'll just put it on mute. Well, I gotta post this to my Facebook to make sure everyone knows I'm watching. Okay. Hopefully. Okay. Let's go. Left.
The Empire of Japan. After opening its doors,
I love this
a
game.
push for cultural
I love this
transformation
franchise.
brought great waves of Western influence to this far eastern island nation. The revolution washed over the land, making life in the capital exciting and unsettling. It was a period of great change, and some was swept away by the tide. But for one man, the turbulence of that era was just the beginning of an extraordinary story.
Oh! What did you do? He looks like the main character in the story. As in, like, the picture. Antechamber. Okay. I still can't believe it. I still can't believe this is beyond the doors to this quiet little chamber is the highest court in Japan, waiting to decide my fate. What? Oh, no, nothing. Save the Blair's murderer. Sorry. My name is Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I'm a second-year student at the Imperial Yumei University. 3 days ago, I somehow found myself in the middle of a horrifying incident. And now, here I am, awaiting my trial. That's enough. He's not obliged to listen to such abuse, officer. And who are you? I'm this man's lawyer. I'll be defending him today. Aha! I'm guessing that's me. Lawyer? Yes. And until the judge has given his verdict on the case, no one has the right to treat him as a criminal. So you will hold your tongue! Tuh. Technicalities. Look at you. You haven't even graduated yet. And yet, I still seem to know better than you how a court officer should behave. Right, Ryunosuke? Oh, yes, of course. Sorry. What are you apologizing to me for? I suppose that wasn't my fault. Oh, really, Kazuma? I never meant to drag you into this. I'm sorry. Ha 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 ha. There you go again, apologizing. Just like always. Ah. Though I must say, you've been all over the newspapers these past few days. University professor murdered in cold blood by student. But obviously, you didn't actually do it, did you? Of course not. You have to believe me, I didn't do it. It looked like he did it. I could never murder someone. Then there's nothing to worry about. Strengthen yourself up, hold your head high. You mean... I believe you. I know you're innocent, Ryunosuke. Kazuma Asogi, my best friend, also in his second year at Yumei University. But he's far more clever than I, a star student in fact. He's even a qualified lawyer. Oh, it's not that impressive. The very concept of lawyers is only a few years old, here in Japan anyway. My qualifications don't mean much, yet. He said exactly the same thing 3 days ago. But I'm proud to have a friend like you, Kazuma, truly. 3 days ago. Yes, that's when all this started. Congratulations, Kazuma. It looks like you're going to get to study abroad at last. I know, I've been forever dreaming of this day. Finally, these government elites have acknowledged my academic achievements and success in court. So you'll be representing Japan as you immerse yourself in the most sophisticated legal system in the world. I'm really happy for you and proud as your friend. There's not a soul in the university who doesn't know Kazuma's name. He's a living legend. It's like there's some mysterious aura billowing around his temple. I want to bring about change in our own legal system. That's why I have to cross the ocean to see the real thing with my own eyes. The heart of the British Empire. Wish I could see it too. Then come with me. We'd have a wild time tearing up the streets of Her Majesty's city in London together. If only it were that simple. Oh dear, look at the time. I'd better be going. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a while longer. Good idea. After all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow then, partner. It was straight after that when this happened. Asogi, may I have a word? Professor, I didn't know you were coming. Well, this case has personal significance to me. But never mind that for now. Asogi, you should go immediately to the judge's chambers. To His Excellency's chambers? Why? He was looking for you before. You advocating for the defense in this trial was a sudden decision. It seems there may be some confusion about procedures today as a result. Who is this man? I feel as though I've seen him at university before. I see. I'll go at once then. I shall accompany you. Alright then, Brunoski, I'll see you in the courtroom. Yes. Excuse me. Thanks, Kazuma. Oh, this is awkward. If I may. Yes, sorry. You must be the defendant, Reno Skindarahudo, I believe. Yes, that's right. My name is Eugene Mikotoba. I'm a professor of the forensic medicine at Yume University. Professor Mikotoba. I've heard that name from Kazuma before. As I recall, he's been pushing to get the government to agree to Kazuma studying abroad. Asogi has told me about you. You and he are best friends, I understand. As such, I feel you should know. Know what? Well, as you've no doubt heard, Asogi has been granted permission to go study in Great Britain. However, if he should fail to defend you in today's trial, I'm afraid that permission will be revoked and never granted again. What? As I suspected, you were unaware of this. I had a feeling Asogi may have chosen not to tell you. He's agreed to defend me, knowing that if he fails, his dreams will be shattered. But I don't understand. Why would the government do such a thing? The administration has to choose from a large number of applicants from overseas study. It's very difficult to persuade them to grant permission, even in the most favorable of circumstances. I don't believe it. But I didn't do it, I swear. I'm not a murderer. I'm sure that's true, nevertheless. I can assure that you proving your innocence will be no easy task. You see, there are certain peculiarities about today's trial. Sorry, what do you mean? You'll soon understand once proceedings get underway. But, then what should I do? Well, naturally, I'm not going to suggest doing anything that could lead to a conviction. Right, so as soon as the trial starts, the judge will pose a certain question to the defense. When that happens, you must answer before anyone else. You must say, I do. I do? Do I actually have to say it? But what will the question be? Surely not. Do you accept the accusations brought before you? Of course not. Defendant. Court is about to begin. Proceed to the courtroom at once. It would seem our surreptitious discussions are to be cut short. So allow me to summarize. Kazuma Asogi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. Of course, as the defendant, the final decision is yours. this trial goes badly, Kazuma's dreams of studying abroad are over. And it's all my fault! With absolutely no idea of what lay ahead, I embarked on an unforgettable trial. My one and only chance of proving my innocence, the trial that would decide my destiny. So this is a courtroom. The Supreme Court of Judicial. No court in the land has more power. I don't much like the look of those people sitting in the public gallery. Lots of military and other uniforms in there. Powers that have demanded this be a secret trial. A secret trial? A trial that's closed to ordinary members of the public, when military and government officials may attend. What? But why? It'll become clear in time, but for now, you need to concentrate, Ryunosuke. It's about to begin. I'm scared. The court will now hear the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. The prosecution is ready, as in the defense. Before we begin, there is one point of order I would like to confirm. Yesterday evening, the defense made a last-minute request for change of advocate. That's correct, Your Excellency. I made the request myself. Normal procedure is for the defendant's advocacy to be decided 2 days prior to trial, and this is an unusual circumstance. I am obliged to ask for the final confirmation now. Who advocates for the defendant in this trial? This is it. This must be the question. Oh. Who's going to defend me? That's the question the professor meant. But then, if I say I do, I need to answer quickly. What should I do? I'm just gonna have to trust it. I always do what I'm told. Your Excellency, no confirmation is needed. As I'm standing here besides the defendant, I hope it's clear. Oh! Ah. What is the meaning of this unruly outburst? I would like to inform the court that... What? I will be defending myself? What are you playing at? Professor Mikotoba told me everything just now before the trial. He did what? He said that your dreams of studying abroad would be dashed if you were to lose. How sad. It means you don't have faith in me. You think I won't be able to get you off. No, it's not that, really. It's just that, well, on the off chance that things don't go well for me, I couldn't be the reason that you... Yes, I knew that's how you'd feel, which is exactly why I decided not to tell you. Professor Mikotoba shouldn't have stuck his nose in. Very well. The court hereby recognizes the defendant's desire to advocate for himself in today's trial. Well, does the accused admit defeat already, renouncing his own counsel? Really?
Objection!
Make no mistake, counsel. merely shows that the defendant's innocence is so apparent he is confident he can speak for himself. Isn't that so, Naruhodo-san? Huh? Oh, yes, exactly. Exactly what I wasn't thinking. I'm not confident at all. In fact, my mind's a complete blank. Yeah, I got no idea. I realize you're in charge now, but still, try not to look so bewildered. Well, for a mere university student to be brought before the Supreme Court, you must have perpetuated a most heinous crime indeed. As you are no doubt aware, this is the Supreme Court of the Judiciary of Japan. According to the very highest standards of conduct are expected of all present. Do I make myself clear? Defendant Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency. It is therefore my duty to assess your competence for the task you have undertaken. My competence? What does that mean? He's questioning your ability to do the job. Well, he can't be questioning it more than I am. So let's start with this very simplest of questions. Yes. Kindly state before the court the name of the victim in the case. Oh my god, I wasn't even listening! Oh, I don't remember! But wait. I'm so nervous I can't even remember that. What was it again? Rinosuke. Let me guess. Your mind's gone blank? You know me so well. All the relevant information for this case can be found in the court record. But I can't even find that. It's simple. You can access the court record with the press of E. If you ever find you've forgotten something, just consult that. It's all in there. I just have to press E. Okay, so his name is John H. Wilson. His name's John. Now you'd better not keep His Excellency waiting any longer. Find the victim in the people section of the court record, then press R to present. Try it now.
Yes!
Yes! The victim's name was Dr. John H. Wilson. I was right. Well, at least you can remember the name of an esteemed member of your own university. Dr. Wilson was a visiting professor from England, invited to Yume University 3 years ago. Indeed, which is the reason why this case has such profound implications. The British Empire is at present our country's most valuable foreign ally. And most of you will be aware that we have just signed a new treaty together after lengthy negotiations. There can't be anyone who hasn't heard of the Anglo-Japanese Treaty of Friendship and Navigation. No. And yet, despite these delicate circumstances, the blood of the Englishman has been spilled on our soil. You two are both undergraduates at the Imperial Yume University, are you not? Murdering a professor from that very institution that provides you education, have you no honor? But I didn't do it. I swear. This case is coming under great scrutiny from our allies on the other side of the world. The court therefore wishes for a speedy resolution to this matter. In other words, our feeble government is scared of upsetting England's policymakers. And you're a convenient and expendable scapegoat to blame for this crime. So that's why this trial has unusual peculiarities, is it? Exactly. Our government needs to convict someone as quickly as possible. Or because the victim was an Englishman. Dr. Wilson was an Englishman. But nationalities and treaties won't make any difference from here. The fact is, I was there at the scene of the crime. Oh dear, look at the time. I'd better be going. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a little longer. Good idea. After all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow then, partner. The British Empire. Wow. It's incredible to think. Wait. I've seen that man at university. I'm sure he's a visiting professor from Great Britain. I don't know his name, but still, I should go and say hello. So I went over to the professor's table and introduced myself to Dr. Wilson. Now then, let me pose my next question to you, Defendant Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency. How did this professor of medicine, Dr. John H. Wilson, lose his life? State before the court the cause of death. It's caused by loss of blood from a gunshot to the chest. Remember that every assertion must be backed up by evidence. But how? Find the piece of evidence that shows the professor's cause of death and select present. Do it now.
Yes!
Yes. Well, according to this document, the victim suffered a hemorrhagic death due to a gunshot trauma. Learn to read, you imbecile! That's the post-mortem report, I take it. Oh no. Yes, that's right. I'm the post-mortem report. In the West, a doctor dissects corpse to identify the cause of death in an autopsy. But here in Japan, a police officer merely inspects the body and draws conclusions that way. Oh, I see. As long as I'm not going to be tested on any of this later. I'm gonna be tested. This is a so-called photographic print of the scene of the crime. You can see scorch mark holes around the bullet produced by the powder explosion. In other words, we should assume that the victim was shot at close range. Thank you, counsel. The court will accept this modern scientific evidence into record. Satisfied with your answers. Let us start the trial. Certainly, Your Excellency. So without further ado, in order to better apprise the court with the facts of the case, the prosecution hereby calls its first witness, who was there at the scene of the crime when it happened. This is it then. think I may have worked out what the professor had in mind. The professor? You mean Dr. Mikotoba? Yes, clearly you're a defense lawyer today, not me, but that doesn't mean... Well, I can still act as your assistant. Yes, thank you. Of course. When he was speaking to me before, he simply said, Kazuma Sogi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. He's really has been sticking his oar in it, hasn't he? Maybe, but any help you can give me would be greatly appreciated, Kazuma. Well, my first piece of advice is rein in that crazy look of bewilderment and control the cold sweats. Only if you rein in that crazy headband and control the cold stares first. State your name and occupation to the court. Of course, my name is Satoru Hosonaga. I'm the head waiter at the Western style restaurant called Le Carnival. You look sus as fuck already! Oops. Yeah, it's alright. Are you alright? You seem to be coughing up some. It's a regular occurrence. It really doesn't bother me. Well, it really should. As everyone knows, the capital's southeastern quarter was developed for foreign visitors some years ago. It's become a very fashionable district now, full of hotels to accommodate overseas guests. This grim crime occurred in one of the district's so-called restaurants on an Occidental eatery 3 days ago. Understood, Hosonaga-san. You'll kindly tell the court everything you can about the incident. At once, sir. And no petty interjections from the aspiring lawyer boy, please. Oh, perspiring maybe, but aspiring? It was just after 2 p.m. on the day in question. We have few diners at that time of day. The lunchtime rush was over, and there was only 3 tables still occupied. That fits with my memory too. There was hardly anyone else in the place. It was when I was in the kitchen putting away crockery and cutlery. A gunshot rang out, so I hurried out to the dining area to see what happened. I found the victim, an English gentleman, slumped in his chair. And standing immediately beside him, gun in his hand, was the accused, a university student.
Yes!
Hold on, let me just clarify something here. While I did pick up a gun that I found laying on the floor beside the professor, I didn't shoot him.
Objection!
Objection. I believe I asked you to refrain from petty interjections. The court wishes to listen to the witness's report of what he saw, you amateur. But the next time you interrupt at an appropriate time, you will be penalized. Uh-oh. Don't worry. You'll have your chance to fight back. We must just quietly listen to the witness. If I may confirm one point, waiter. Standing beside the victim with a gun in his hand was the same man we see here in court today. Yes, without question. I see. And apart from the accused, was there anyone else standing beside the victim? No.
There was no one else around that table but the deceased Englishman and the university student. Wait, what did he just say? There was no one else around that table. Wait. What's the matter? That's just not right. When I went over to Dr. Wilson to say hello, there was a woman sitting opposite him at his table. Really? And that's not something the waiter could have missed. I've been warned about interjecting, but still, what should I do? I'm just gonna have to wait and see. I don't want to pay a penalty. But I was told not to interject! Runoski, if your parents tell you to study, you're the kind of man who will diligently get to work, aren't you? I suppose I am. I'd never have gotten into university otherwise. But you can't just always follow the rules in life, you know. Oh, of course they'd fucking say that if I chose that option. If you don't know what to say, if you don't say what you want to say right now, you'll seriously regret it when you're found guilty. Alright, you've scared me. I won't forget that piece of advice in a hurry. And there is something I want to say. I'm just gonna shut my eyes and say it.
Yes!
Just a moment, please. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone that day. I'm sure of it. There was a lady sitting with him at the same table.
Objection!
Dear me, what are we going to do with you? With your blatant disregard for court proceedings, I'm beginning to wonder if you're not a fraud. Could it be that the accused, this mere student, is not a real lawyer after all? But I'm sure of what I saw. Hosonaga-san, is there any chance you're mistaken? Perhaps your memory of events is hazy? No. He's lying! The deceased gentleman came to dine alone. I don't believe it. Ahem. Cough, cough. I actually have a rough plan of the restaurant as it was that day. Please have a look if you'd like to. Sketch. I'm confused. I use the back of my business card. However, as you can see, the gentleman in question was seated alone. Well, you're clearly a very conscientious waiter. Thank you, sir. The court will take this plan and add it to the court record as evidence. That's some bullshit evidence! Well... Is there a problem? Hand in the plan to the court officer at once. Of course, here you are. What was that about? He's been completely calm and collected until now. Something certainly seems to have shaken him. The waiter's business card has been entered. I want to see what's on the back of that card. So, the court has now heard a I've never heard that word before, of the case. Yes, at the moment, the gunshot was heard in the restaurant. The only person in close proximity to the victim was the defendant on the trial day. It would seem we are looking at a black and white case here. Defendant Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency. If you admit your guilt at this stage, the court is willing to look mercifully on you. In other words, you may have some small reprieve in some terms of your inevitable punishment. I called this waiter as an unsworn witness in order to explain the details of the case to the court. but I must warn the defense, if you are determined to pursue matters of further in this trial. The prosecution has decisive evidence from sworn witnesses who were present at the scene of the crime. Okay. What do you think I should do? What do you mean? Well, I'm going to be found guilty one way or another, it seems. Wouldn't it be sensible to plead guilty at this stage and hope for a more lenient sentence? No. Everyone keeps telling me that this trial is unusual about these peculiarities. You said it. Professor said it, and so has the judge and the prosecution. I'm scared of what lies ahead if I push this. As I said from the outset, I believe you're innocent. I trust you. And yet, despite knowing that you're willing to throw that trust back in my face, is that it? What? If the accused is in fact innocent, and the defense lawyer is duty-bound to prove that innocence by whatever means necessary, are you just going to abandon that duty, or are you going to give up on yourself? The battle hasn't even begun yet. The defense pleads not guilty, Your Excellency. We invite the prosecution to stop making empty threats and bring out its witnesses. Then we'll just see how decisive this evidence really is. Indeed. Prosecutor Auchi, please continue with the proceedings. Well, you are warned. The young can be so reckless. You know, many called me a saint, but I can be a devil when I want to be. In a few short moments from now, that dumbstruck young mouth of yours will be silenced forever. The prosecution calls its next witness. Very well, officer. Bring forth the witnesses at once. Kindly state your names and occupations for the court. Yes, sir. The greatest Nippon Imperial Army Sergeant Lycia Nosa reporting for duty, sir. Myself, I find employ as a purveyor of fine articles of antiquity from the efflorences of our nation Nippon, and conduct my trade from Rasute, a humble premises in the 2nd District, Curio Kurakuda, at your service. An antique dealer and a soldier, what an unusual pairing. Both of these gentlemen were present at the restaurant on the day in question. They must be the diners at the other table that the waiter mentioned. Myself, I habitually take tea of the most exquisite aroma at the establishment in question, always post-noon, and not infrequently converse with interested parties regarding the curios with which I make my business. I can't understand a word that old man is saying. Yeah, I could barely read it. He's an antique dealer, and it sounds like he's a regular at Le Carnival. He seeks out potential customers who may have an interest in antiques and tries to sell his wares to them. He obviously targets Le Carnival because it's a high-class restaurant with rich clientele. Right, I see. Although, to be honest, that sergeant looks more like he'd be a seller rather than a buyer. Now you both witnessed the precise moment of this most atrocious incident. Is that correct? Affirmative. The enemy unit was seen attacking the foreigner in what can only be described as an act of war, sir. It was that black uniformed rogue infantryman over there who unloaded his forearm, sir. This man sounds impossible to understand as the other. But I'm almost sure I heard a strange noise during that last thing he said. So this is the decisive evidence the prosecution was threatening. The soldier is claiming that he actually saw the precise moment you shot the victim dead. Yes. Well, are you starting to feel uncomfortable? If I'm honest, I was feeling uncomfortable from the start. Now the court will hear your formal testimony, please. You will state everything you saw at the precise moment that the incident occurred. So, yes, sir. Standing by ready to report, sir. Unsavory memories of a most acerbic afternoon. What the witnesses saw. I was ingesting a regulation beef steak at the restaurant while having a tactical discussion with the old man. Myself, I was extolling the virtues of a particularly fine golden curio to the military gentleman. At that precise moment, a firearm was discharged. I observed the enemy's actions with my own eyes. He's got a baby or something. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back the cowardly little weasel. He lying! He lying! I was on my hands and knees investigating the whereabouts of my mysteriously absconded precious curio. Well, so you, Sergeant Nurser, actually witnessed the vital moment. You saw the split second when the defendant fired the weapon at the victim. Yes, affirmative, sir. That wicked university cadet, sir. The cruel and unforgivable enemy. What times we live in, when an English gentleman may be assailed in the broad of light of day. But this is ridiculous. I didn't shoot anyone. Is that really true? Yes, all I did was pick up the gun that I saw lying on the floor. After I said hello to Dr. Wilson, I went back to my table and sat drinking some coffee. Then when I'd finished, I got up from my seat to leave the restaurant, when I noticed an English-made gun next to the chair where the professor was sitting. I thought perhaps the professor had dropped it, so I bent down, and just as I was picking it up, well, if that's the truth, there was obviously a criminal on the scene somewhere. And somewhere in this two witnesses' testimonies, there is a clue as to who that criminal was. There is? You must exercise your right to cross-examine the witnesses. Do it now. Where we get to find out where they're lying. It's time to bring this despicable student to justice. Certainly. The testimony the court has just heard eliminates any vestige of doubt. Therefore, it is my grave duty to declare the verdict of this. What in the name of the emperors is the meaning of this outburst? The defense demands its right to cross-examination. Dear me. Let me guess. The Hachimaki headband boy next door told me to do it. How pathetic. How did he know? The prosecution objects with its clear waste of time. defendant obviously has no experience. How can he possibly carry out a cross-examination?
Objection!
The defense is asserting its right to a cross-examination. Whether or not you think he's capable of it, it's irrelevant. Gulp. Kazuma is so commanding. Very well. Let the defense conduct a cross-examination of the witness. Alright, this is where the battle really begins. But I don't even know what I have to do in a cross-examination. Yes, I do. I played these games before. Isn't it obvious you have to expose the lies in the witness's statements? How? You didn't fire the gun, which means that what that soldier has said has to be a lie. Well, yes, but it's just a case of proving it, and the key to doing it is evidence. Right, evidence. I know where he's lying. All you need to do is present some decisive and indisputable evidence that proves the witness is lying. Now let's go, Ryunosuke. Don't let them beat you. Alright then. It's all or nothing. What the witnesses saw. Yeah, that's fine. Actually, I'm going to press every single one.
Yes!
Or will I get in trouble? So you're saying that you actually saw me at that time? Affirmative, I saw you. Laughing, cackling like a madman as you trained the barrel of your gun on the English civilian. That is such a massive lie! You liar! Allow me to confirm just one point, please. What's that, Private? Thinking carefully about the statement you just made, it seems to me that it must have been just after you heard the gunshot that you looked over to the victim's teeth. And so what if it was? Well, if that really is the case, it would mean that you didn't in fact see the precise moment when the killer actually fired the gun. Ah! And double ah! My sixth sense. Sorry? My sixth sense of danger. I picked up the waves of murderous energy radiating from your foul mind. Oh my god. Which means a split second before you pulled the trigger, I was looking right at you, cadet. Surely that's not really possible, is it? Do you think I'd have got anywhere where I am today in the army if I couldn't sense danger in the air, son? Well, it would seem this soldier is absolutely convinced that he saw you do the deed. This is not good. This black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel. So, this is wrong. I'm gonna do this, because in the evidence, he got shot in the front. But, yeah, he gets shot in the front, and it doesn't go all the way through. It says in the report, it did not pass through the victim's body. He is lying so bad! I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna press. So this black uniform university cadet you're saying that was... Ah, I've had just about enough of your sauce, cadet. Who else do you see around here in a black uniform? Well, there's someone standing right next to me who fits the description as well, but... It was you, you little weasel. You unloaded the firearm on that man from behind his back, and now you call yourself a citizen of the great empire of Nippon. You disgust me. What is it? I'm not quite sure. It's something that the surgeon just said, but I can't quite put my finger on it. Something's playing on my mind. I know what it is. In that case, check back over the details of the evidence you've gathered in the court record. And if you find inconsistencies where the witness just said, then don't hold back. Present the evidence to the court. Thrust it in the witness's face and make him choke on it. Yes. Wait. Okay, so back here. No, I didn't mean to do that. I know where the lie is, I just have to present it. That's good. In that precise moment. This is where we need to present the evidence. He was shot from the front in the chest. Okay.
Yes!
What are you playing at, cadet? What is the meaning of this subordination? Thrusting some photographic print in my mustache. Inconsistency, sir. I mean, yes. There's a clear inconsistency here. What nonsense. What can this print possibly tell us that we don't already know? Well, obviously, that, I know what I want to say, but the words just won't come out of my mouth. I think this proves beyond any doubt, Your Excellency, that there is no place for an amateur student here in this grand courtroom. Just give me some time. This is so frustrating. Oh, please. Surely this doesn't require an explanation. It couldn't be more plain. To spell it out would be an insult to the court. Kazuma, what? What are you talking about? It's apparent from a single glance of the photographic print presented by the defense that there's a clear discrepancy here with the surgeon's statement. What? Sergeant Lysen-Noza? Yes, sir. What, sir? The statement you just made was this. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel. Yes, affirmative. I witnessed the crime with my own military grade
Yes!
eyes. But no, that just can't be. And why not, cadet? Because... Take a close look at the print. victim, Dr. Wilson, died from a bullet wound to the chest. Ah, yeah, we got you. According to your witness statement, the culprit shot the victim from behind. And that is obviously discrepancy here. Well, how do you explain it? Oh, well, oh, he has a baby. What the? What was that? Something just popped up from behind his back when he pushed it down again. Certainly, there is a clear discrepancy with the facts here. Would you not agree, Sergeant Noser? Yes, sir. At this juncture, that would appear to be indisputable. You liar. Such a liar. Until the moment I heard the firearm discharge, my eyes were firmly fixed on the delicious Le Carnival steak, sir. What? The last testimony the court heard was proven one thing beyond all reasonable doubt. The witness, Sergeant Lysa Noser, did not see the defendant firing a gun at all. That's absurd. I think the conclusion we must draw is simple. There is no place for an amateur prosecutor here in this grand courtroom. There's been a complete turnabout in mood in this trial just from that one discrepancy. So this is what being an ace attorney is all about! But what I definitely saw him. The university cadet there, he was pointing the firearm directly at the victim's back.
Yes!
But I never fired the gun. All I did was pick it up off the floor. And you old man, you didn't see the moment the victim was shot either? Myself, I have already been quite clear. The gunshot interested me not. I was far too busy on the floor. Too busy on the floor. Sorry, what were you doing? Hunting for the treasure. Treasure? Indeed. The Hoey era Coben, my prized coin. On each occasion where I visit that restaurant. It is my habitude to place in my bosom pocket a particular trinket of interest from my shop restaurant, in the hope of meeting a rich diner who might like to buy it from you. On the day under scrutiny, it was to the military man that I proffered my Hawaii treasure. Believe that he would purchase such a rare find, I did not, but I was presented with little alternative. And then, after averting my eyes for the briefest moments, there was no more, it simply vanished. The Coben vanished. Hunting around under the table, I was in case mayhap it had fallen there, and then it happened. You heard the gunshot, you mean? Indeed I did, but heeded it not, for I was concerned only with finding my absconded Hawaii treasure. Nothing could distract me. Out of interest, did you find the coin in the end? No. I see. That lamentable day, the precious Hawaii Coban was lost to me. No doubt some unscrupulous scoundrel pocketed the prize coin for himself. As I am sure everyone present is aware, this case demands a swift and decisive resolution. Our government has promised to send a full report to Great Britain by telegraph this very afternoon. Nevertheless, the witness testimony court has just heard was inconclusive. No matter how subservient our government feels it must be to the British, it would be unforgivable to deliver a verdict on this trial right now. What is your position, Prosecutor Ochi? Worry not, Your Excellency. The defendant may have fled a tiger at the front gate, but he will find a wolf at the back. My witness have further testimony to make. Explain. Upon hearing their next statements, it will become abundantly clear that there is only one person who could possibly have committed this despicable crime. The equally despicable defendant, Rinosuke Naruhodo. What? He really seems to have a despicable opinion on you, doesn't he? Very well, the court invites the witnesses to testify again. You will thoroughly explain the reasoning behind the prosecution's allegation. Is that clear? As clear as Kuroko glass, Your Excellency. Yes, sir, at once, sir. Awaiting signal to testify, sir. Excuse me, but there's something or someone peeking out over your shoulder, I think. Affirmative, the newest member of the Nosa family to rise up through the ranks, sir. Named Ado. It would seem those straps are a sign of the sergeant being too strapped to afford a nanny. Ado Tinshin. Your father is about to quell the enemy. Watch and learn, my boy. Hey! Quishy! Doing alright, just going through this first, thing. Even what I saw wasn't the precise moment the firearm was discharged. It's almost the same thing. Yes, pointing his gun at the foreign man, he was that young lad in black. That much I myself did see. Furthermore, a visual search of the premises at the time confirmed that there were only personnel present. Indeed, alone he was the Englishman, dining all by himself. Therefore, no one other than the black uniformed cadet could have dispatched the Englishman over and out. These testimonies are certainly compelling. Wait, that's nonsense. The victim, Dr. Wilson, wasn't alone at all. Please, enough of these outbursts already. But there was a woman. There was a young woman at his table. You must have seen her. Everyone there must have seen her.
Objection!
If you call yourself a lawyer, then you will respect the laws of court and speak accordingly. We are not here to listen to your fantasies. It is evident beyond all reasonable doubt that the victim was alone at the time of the incident. The prosecution has photographic evidence of this fact. Is this photographic print of the scene of the crime council? Indeed, of the table at which the victim was dining, taken by an investigator immediately after the incident. As can plainly be seen, there is only one place set. Certainly based on the appearance of this print. Yeah, it would be reasonable to conclude that the victim was not in the company of anyone else. This does not make any sense. The court will add this new photographic evidence to the court. A bottle of carbonated water and a steak lunch can be seen on the victim's table. So he must have been sitting backwards in his chair when he got killed. So because he's facing this way. Is that chair facing which way? Yeah, this chair's facing this way too. Why was he facing this way? I don't know, we'll have to figure that out. What's going on here? It's just not possible that nobody else saw that woman. The waiter before said the same thing. He maintains that Dr. Wilson came to the restaurant alone as well. But that's not true. I saw her. I swear that I saw a woman with him. It would seem that we'll be able to telegraph the report to the Great Britain on time after all. The witness testimonies we have just heard leave no further room for doubt. These are very sensitive political times, as we all know. The ink is still fresh on the treaty with Great Britain. To think that I, Takatsuchi Aochi, will have contributed to the amity of these two great empires is an honor. How can this be happening? The judge is ready to rule. Stand tall, it's not over yet. What? If what you say is true, then there's something going on here behind the scenes. Now's your chance to expose it, to draw out the truth in your cross-examination. I don't know. The defense is entitled to a cross-examination of the witnesses, but make it quick understood. I'll take as long as I like, thank you. The true culprit. We'll find something. We'll find something. It's okay. We'll just press every single statement. Yeah, we'll just press. Press.
Yes!
No, it's not the same thing at all. It's a start. I didn't fire that gun. We have a difference of opinion on that. The opinion of an uninformed officer versus that of a fledgling cadet. I don't think so. Consider this, defendant. Just a moment ago, I blinked. Did you see it? Did you see me blink? No. How could I? And yet, it's an undeniable fact that I did blink. So there you have it. rang in my ears, and the very next moment, I saw you waving the gun at the Englishman. I think that says it all, don't you? And let us not forget that the antiques dealer witnessed the accused in the most incriminating position as well. Isn't that so, Korakuda-san?
Yes!
Yes, it may be true that I was holding the gun at the appointed time, but I've told you already that's because I'd picked it up off the floor. Well, obviously, as the culprit, that's the only way you could explain it away. I hate this guy! This guy, he shits me. I just finished drinking my coffee and I was about to leave the restaurant when I noticed a gun on the floor at Dr. Wilson's feet, so I picked it up. At that exact moment, bang. A gunshot ran in my ears. Full of evidence. Full of events beyond our control, life is. Sorry, what do you mean? In your case, you found a pistol on the floor and picked it up, which precipitated to this testing predicament. Whereas conversely, I failed to pick up the Coburn from the floor and find myself in an equally testing predicament as a result. Anyway, the fact remains, myself, I did see you. With pistol in hand, shading over the foreigner, standing over. Furthermore, a visual search of the premises at the time confirmed that we were the only personnel present.
Yes! Objection!
As you have been at pains to point out time and time again, I feel like I'm growing callous in my ear. And yet no one else appears to have caught even a glimpse of this woman. Ah, if only there'd been more people dining there at a time, then someone else would have noticed her. Unfortunately, it was already past 2 p.m. when it happened. The quiet time between lunch and dinner in any restaurant. I know, of course, the place was almost empty. It's what you'd expect. Certainly 2 p.m. is neither here nor there in terms of time to eat. I wonder if there was a reason why the victim was eating at that time of day and why he was alone. Yes, Your Excellency, there was indeed a reason. There was. This was found in the victim's jacket pocket. What is that? It's a medical report card, Your Excellency. It would seem that the victim had an appointment at a clinic prior to visiting the restaurant. There would indeed appear to be an entry for the date in question. 19th November, noon to past 1 p.m. The very day of the incident. So the victim went for a late lunch following his appointment. The explanation couldn't be simple. The prosecution felt no need to submit this evidence before, as it really has no bearing on the case. I wonder, what do you think Well, it is hard to see how it could be related, really. Remember, you can request for it to be entered into the court record as evidence if you think it could be useful. Yes.
Yes!
If I may, I'd like to ask that medical report card to be submitted as excellence. On what grounds? The court has already heard conclusive witness testimony. Additional evidence would be extraneous. Not to mention that the victim's movements prior to his arrival at the restaurant are of no concern.
Objection!
But they could be. You never know. Whether or not they are of concern, it is up to us to decide. We have the right to explore all possible avenues. I beg your pardon? You have no authority to refuse a perfectly valid request for a submission of evidence. Very well, the court will grant the defence's request. Youngsters these days are forever asserting their rights. It's a most disturbing trend. Officer, kindly add the victim's medical report card to the court record. Thank you. Let's check this out. We have to explore things from every possible angle, even if they don't seem relevant at first. Oh, just... Indeed, alone he was the Englishman, dining all by himself. Press.
Yes!
So you actually saw that with your own eyes, did you? The victim, Dr. Wilson, dining alone. That I did. Forgive me for the position I place you in. So the testimonies of the old man and the soldier and the waiter all agree on that point. Isn't that interesting? And let us not forget the incontestable evidence we have to support their statements as well. As can clearly be seen, there is only one single beefsteak on the victim's table, a meal for one. No. The antiques dealers, the surgeon, and the waiter who testified before. It's not impossible that they're all lying. But if so, then why? I'm perfectly honest. I have absolutely no idea. Therefore, no one other than the black uniformed cadet could have dispatched the Englishman over an hour.
Yes!
What did you say, cadet? I clearly remember there was a woman sitting across the table from the professor. Perhaps one of you might not have noticed. But for both of you to have failed to see the professor's dining companion, it's just not possible. Unfortunately for you, Defendant Naruhodo, it's not just a case of these two witnesses alone. Sorry? The waiter whose testimony the court heard earlier clearly stated the same thing. He also said that the victim was alone. That's right. Precisely, in other words, you are the sole proponent of this phantom lady. But If such a woman were indeed present at the scene, the prosecution demands to see proof. And if no such proof exists, the prosecution demands that no further mention of this phantom woman be made. It is a blatant waste of the court's time. There's nothing I can say to that. Excellent work. We've gleaned some new information now. Well, yes, but I don't feel like it changes much. I can't see that it brings any real discrepancies to light. I wouldn't be so sure. Let me see that medical report card you got before. Oh, you mean this? Yes, this is a brand new piece of evidence, so perhaps we should examine it in a little more detail. That's what I was trying to do before. You'll notice that some people... Yes. Press space. Okay. Hospitals and surgeries. Aren't they all the same? When I was 5, I caught the only cold I ever had in my life, and I remember even though I felt awful already, I had to have this hideous injection in my right arm. I'll never forget it. Never in my whole life. Most people would give their right arm to have had only one cold in their whole life. Anyway, I don't think this is a clinic where they treat people for illnesses like that. Let's keep looking for clues. We don't want to miss anything. Medical history, and there's an entry for the day the professor was killed. Extraction of molar with topical anesthesia. Extraction of molar. He had a tooth taken out. It would seem so. Just before the incident, he'd had a bad tooth removed, so he wouldn't be able to eat. Perhaps they use laughing gas. That's the most modern practice of the West for pain relief. Yes, I heard of this anesthesia. Although it's hard to believe there's anything that can actually stop you feeling pain. There's a cautionary note from the medical practitioner as well. Strictly no food or drink besides water for 3 hours post-procedure. Really? Sounds like information worth bearing in mind. Medical report card information has been updated. With this new information, the meaning of that one particular statement changes. So I think it's time we listen to the testimony again. I think this is where we need to present this.
Yes!
I'm kind of getting tired of reading it. I'm kind of getting tired of reading. I'm getting tired of reading it out loud. Yeah. I take it in better when I'm not reading out loud because I'm concentrating too much on actually trying to get the words right. So, yeah.
Objection!
Yeah. Yes, it is not, it's not irrelevant. It does! Expertly done. You're welcome.
Objection!
Objection!
Who was eating the steak? Maybe it was the girl. Not the victim, it's not him. This. It's gotta be this one.
Objection! Yes!
They both lied. They were lying.
Objection! Yes! Objection!
30-minute recess? Sound about right? Oh, I wonder if you can save it now. Yes. There we go. I'm going to have something to eat and then Okay, I'm back. But I'm just going to end the stream and see if I can save it and download it for myself. And maybe for YouTube to see if I can put it on there. Okay, thank you. Bye.